Driving around any of the metros in South Africa, you have probably seen two-story high perspex boxes and the word Padel on the signage. The racket sport that has an estimated 25 million players globally reportedly arrived in South Africa late in 2020. Since then, it's experienced exponential growth with estimates between 170 to 500 courts countrywide. Even property development company Balwin is building the courts as part of their lifestyle centre. And they haven't stopped there. They have brought winner of 2 World Championship titles in the sport, Willy Lahoz, to host coaching clinics for the next year here in South Africa. He joins us now to tell us more. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to chat to you on our channel. So you've been in the country for a couple of months. What has been your sense of the game of Padel in South Africa?
Hi, hello, Vaylen. Thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to stay with you again. Well, I was impressed for the level of all the players here in South Africa. I think the story is repeated like in Spain, where initially those who started playing come from other sports like tennis or squash. But then with the creation of Padel Academy, children began to play Padel directly. And today we have great players like LeBron, Galan, Coelho, and I think is the future here in South Africa. We are creating the Balwin Padel Academy by Willy Lahoz, and I think in the future all these players that now are playing tennis and squash and are moving to Padel in the future, maybe they are obviously a great players. But I was surprised for the high level of all the players, even men and women in the country.
How would you describe the game as in comparison to tennis, and what makes you so optimistic here in South Africa? South Africa doesn't have a singles Grand Slam winner in the normal game of tennis, but you seem quite optimistic that South Africa can be a global force in the game of paddle.
Yeah, paddle is the fastest growing sport in the world, like you say. I think the keys are the sport is easy to learn. It's a sport easy to play, is playable at any age by both men and women, and it obviously is very social. And in the first moment, it's obvious is understand the concept of paddle, and then you improve your level with the creation of these new academies. Or all these clubs, or all the new clubs are coming in the next months, and I think is the key. I think the key to start to play for fun, but in a moment you won't improve, and then is the reason that with good academies in the future you have obviously good players.
And one interesting thing, if you have to compare tennis and the game of paddle, is that paddle is not necessarily a power game like tennis is. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Tennis and paddle is obviously tennis is the mother sport of the rackets, and paddle now is in a moment everybody says that if you are a paddle player it means that you are a bad tennis player, and in some terms maybe it's true, but now obviously paddle is obviously is a main sport, is different sport. Even the score is the same, like in tennis, you play at the best of the 3 sets, like the score is the same. But I think it's easier to learn. I think it's the key, easier to learn and easy to have fun. And I think now in the past tennis was the sport, social sport, but now paddle is the social sport. No, I think this little battle, I think now is winning around the world by paddle. No, and I think it's we have on all the countries all the fever with the paddle. No?
What do you think South Africa as a country actually needs to do if they want to grow paddle? If I just look at the International Federation, there's in fact only 3 national federations from the continent that are affiliated with the global body, and that's Egypt and Senegal. In North Africa, South Africa don't necessarily even have a South African Padel Association.
Yeah, that was the reason that only the sport have here 4 years of history, and I think now that one of the next steps is create the Federation of Padel in South Africa, and obviously that all the other countries come inside of with this federation. No, I think you normally start with association of the clubs normally, and then the next step is create a federation. And I think it's one of the most important things we have to do in the next months or in the next year is create the federation, because with this federation you can you have the competition, tournament, leagues internationally with all the best players here in the country coming, like in the tennis, that all the tournament is around the world. And now, obviously, with Balwin, one of the challenges is to create the first international tournament here in South Africa, in Joburg, the Taba development, and I think it's a perfect place to practice paddle, and I think is the challenge we are trying to make this year in August probably.
That's Willy Lahoz, who led the Spanish national team to victory at the World Padel Championships in 1998 and 2010. Thank you so much for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika. So it seems as if we'll be hearing a lot more about the sport of padel in the future. And Oli, I don't know about you, but it feels as if this craze and this fever around the sport of padel is a little bit reminiscent of, remember when five-a-side football started becoming a lot more popular and there were all these courts in the metros? You're certainly starting to feel that energy around this racket sport, which I must say I've tried, but I've never been one for hand-eye coordination. A lot of fun, but yeah, certainly a great afternoon out.
I just want to learn more about the sport, so I'll probably be watching more of it.